Remember how Cycle 6 ended, where we actually finished off the Cafe quest, Reuniting Cafe and Anju at the edge of time, which actually gave the couple's mask as a reward. You may be wondering what we could use that for. In order to find out, let's go to the mayor's office. It has been quite a while since we last covered this, but remember how the mayor is actually in a meeting, a never-ending meeting, where he and the carnival committee and the guards of Clocktown can't really decide whether the carnival should still be going or not. The couple's mask is actually the solution to this otherwise unsolvable problem. Interesting dialogue. The couple's mask. What a nice reminder. So, a young couple has been married. I wonder, did my wife flee? What? What did you just say? Yes, everyone. We are all worried for our families. Why don't we end this meeting? But Mr. Mayor! This will do. Whether you're stubborn and choose to stay, or you'd prefer to run far away to seek shelter for your family, that is for people to decide on their own. Well put, Mr. Mayor. Thank you for allowing me to put an end to all that pointless bickering. Adults are also stubborn. It is shameful. Here is a token of my gratitude. Peace of heart. What else did you expect? Well, I may be an unreliable mayor, but at least my family can depend on me. I want to protect my wife. Yeah, and from other cycles we've done so far, we know she's not going to flee. But at least the mayor's meeting has finally been ended. We have saved the mayor from a tedious meeting. And that all thanks to the couple's mask. Even the mask that actually takes the longest to get because of the tedious side quest that is involved with it, even that mask has a use, and this is it. So you guys are also finally free to do something else, like protecting the town for instance. Okay, that little side note taken care of quickly. Let's go do something else in Clocktown. As we may remember from the very first time we entered this place, there is also a frog here in South Clocktown, or better yet, in the laundry pool. So let's go talk to him, because I'm also still planning on finally completing that quest. Since the final frog is in the Great Bay Temple, we couldn't have done it earlier. But this was actually the very first frog we ever met. Let's also invite him. Okay, here's the second one. We've recruited the frog at the laundry pool. Okay, and that was the final thing we can do in Clocktown for now. But before we leave, let's go stack up on some fish, because that is something I'm going to need for the next event I'm going to cover. The best way to actually get a lot of fish in this game, or the easiest way to get a lot of them, is here in the trading post. If you've been paying close attention whenever being in here, you will actually see there's a bit of water here, where a fish is actually swimming. And yes, that fish will respawn every single time you re-enter the shop. So this is actually a very quick way to score a lot of fish. Something we need for the upcoming event. Officially, this is a quest I could have done earlier. However, I always like to wait for this one until I have a lot of empty bottles in my possession. So I can actually increase the chance of this quest being able to be done in one go. Otherwise you have to keep on making trips, if you know what I mean. You will see what I mean in a minute. Let's fill my other 3 bottles. Usually 5 or 6 bottles is enough. You usually don't need your 7th one. And in the N64 version there isn't even a 7th bottle. That game only has 6 bottles. The bottle I got from the final Gorman quest, Fraternal Milk, that one is actually non-existent in the N64 version. You can still do the quest, however you don't receive an empty bottle for it there. And that's actually new to this version. But even 6 fish should be enough for this. Okay, we've got plenty of fish. And now the question is, where the heck am I going to use these guys for? It is for a quest that I did point out already, however I did not touch it quite yet. So let's go touch that quest now. That sounded so wrong. Okay, let's just go to Great Bay Coast. Before my words come back to bite me. As you may remember, in the Marine Research Lab, there is actually a giant aquarium holding 2 giant fish. These guys. I pointed this out the very first time we got through here. And Teddle already gives a hint of what you need to do. It can eat a small fish in 1 bite. We need to throw fish in here. Enough for these guys to actually grow even bigger. And the trick to completing this event is trying to get one of these fish to eat at least 4 of them, or 3, I'm not really sure on the exact number. But because of there being 2 fish in here, the chances are present that you actually need up to 6 fish before one actually grows big enough. But if you get lucky, you can actually do this with less fish. Or you just need to return with multiple trips, but I don't really feel like doing that here. So I usually just wait until I have enough bottles to carry all the fish I want. Okay, let's go see if 4 is enough. I believe 4 is the minimum number you need in order to complete this. So if you get lucky, 4 can be enough. Okay, I need 1 more. One of the fish got eaten by the other one, so... Yeah, it's the big one again, so this should be it. If it grows big enough, it will actually start eating the other fish. Cannibalism is a thing. But anyway, we receive a piece of heart for it. That's all I'd like to say about that. And that is the event Fishy Friends. The fish has grown bigger. And that is an understatement. I hope the scientist in here actually appreciates our little experiment here. Let's quickly leave. And that was the final event we can do in the ocean, so we're done for this place for forever. Let's return to the swamp, because we know there are 2 frogs there as well. Let's finish that quest off as well. Let's start off with the frog that is actually outside of the swamp. Okay, back in Southern Swamp. If you've been paying close attention to this area, you may remember there's actually a frog present at the back area, the north end of this swamp, just before the poison water begins. There's actually a frog on a log there. That is our next prey for the event. This guy over here. Okay, let's go talk to you. Sir, you are cordially invited to participate in a choir. You're just going to have to wait until spring comes to the mountains. But anyway, we have recruited the frog in the southern swamp. And we also know this is not the only one in the swamp. The other one is in Woodfall Temple. The first Gekko fight, so we also need to redo that one in order to invite that guy. Let's go do that immediately. Okay, we need to open it again, of course. The only time we were in here was during cycle 3, and that has long passed, so the dungeon's closed again. Well, at least they bothered to shorten the cutscene for us. Makes it somewhat more bearable. Let's go. For the first time, we're actually re-entering a dungeon. And something actually comes with re-entering a dungeon in this game. Ooh, a cutscene. Ye who have challenged my mighty blade, Courageous traveler of time and space. Ooh, is the boss actually talking to us now? If thou art fearless, stand before me, that I might witness thy power once more. Okay. If you have been wondering all this time, every single time we entered the dungeon, what this quote-unquote platform was for, and this is actually the function. The moment you have cleared a dungeon and returned there later, when time has reset it again, you can use that warp point in order to get to the dungeon boss instantly. You don't have to do the entire dungeon over again. Because in some instances, because of events only being active the moment a dungeon is cleared, they've come up with this method in order to make sure you can quickly get to the final boss of a dungeon again. So clearing a dungeon and therefore getting rid of the curse of that region is a lot easier. However, in this situation we're actually not interested in that, because we don't want to defeat Odolwa again, we want to defeat Gekko again. And this warp panel won't take us to him. It will immediately take you to Odolwa. In this case we are not interested. We want the frog that is in here. Who thinks he has turned into a lizard, even though he clearly hasn't. Okay, but we do know where he is. Luckily there's no locked doors in between, so he's easily reached. Let's go. Second time we'll be facing him. We are forced to do so, because the first time through we couldn't finish this event. We have to do it like this. But we are a lot stronger now, so one hit is enough in order to initiate phase 2 already. Okay, and let's go use bombs this time around. First time through I used the Deku flowers. However, you can actually also blow these turtles up in order to knock him off him. This also works. Even though we're repeating a boss fight, I'm still finding new ways to actually cover this guy. Got a present for you. Bam! Okay, my arrows are still as strong as they used to be. I can power them up with magic, but this also still works. Only 3 hits is enough, so not going to bother. With magic arrows, it would have been 2 hits. But still, Gekko is defeated and is turned into a regular frog once more. Normally, we would be interested in the boss key, only this time we are interested in you. You are also invited to the mountains whenever spring comes. Okay, and with that, all 4 of the frogs have been recruited. And all we have to do is clear the Snowhead Temple again. However, there's actually something else I'd like to do before that, since we're at the night of the second day. You can actually play the Song of Soaring inside of a dungeon to warp to the entrance real quick. As you may remember, usually Zelda games have a way to warp to the entrance of a dungeon. And this is this game's form of doing that. Just play the Song of Soaring inside of a dungeon, and you will get transported to the entrance. Pretty simple business. But okay, like I was trying to say, we're at night of the second day, and there's actually something else I'd like to do. So I'm going to wait until going to the mountains for now. And instead I'll be heading towards the canyon again. Because there's actually something else we can do there. Remember how I told you about the Ikana graveyard? How there's actually something hidden beneath the graves. The stall children are actually guarding. Last time we didn't really have time to actually work with that, but this time we do. Come on. It's so annoying that you keep having to talk to these guards over again. But I don't have a save point in the canyon yet, so unfortunately we're going to have to do this the old-fashioned way. Riding a horse. I would just use the Goron bump glitch in order to get over these fences, but it doesn't work in this version, so Epona is unfortunately required for now. Okay. I can quickly address that you can actually find the stone mask, the invisible soldier, Shiro, that actually gives the stone mask. In the Nintendo 64 version, you can actually find him in this area. So equip your Lens of Truth and go find him here if you're playing that version. Like I said, he's actually not in the Pirate's Fortress in the original version. They for some reason placed him here, which is a pretty weird place. So I can understand they changed that up. But anyway, we are here for Ikana Graveyard. And now that it's still nighttime, we can actually work with this event next. Which is called the Buried Treasure event, I'm pretty sure. But okay, this event actually entails the 3 stall children that actually circle around the grave. And it is actually a different grave every single night. This night we have this one, it seems. Huh? Ah, Captain, sir! Excuse me, sir! Everyone, give the Captain your attention! We haven't seen you in some time, Captain, sir! As per your order, sir, we have been guarding these graves closely. A different one each day. We have been expecting your next order, sir. What shall we do? Continue guarding the grave or open the grave? Well, we're interested in the second one, obviously. Open it? Yes, sir. Everyone, follow me. The stall children at the grave guard a different grave each day. Remember that. The first day is already passed, so we're not seeing what is beneath the graves on the first day. But we'll be able to do that in the next cycle. At least we can do the treasure that is beneath the grave on day 2. Beneath the graveyard. And as you can see here, there's actually a different area over there. Now that one is actually for the first day. But it's unreachable for us now, so let's go see what is in here first. Hey, and this symbol looks familiar. Bottom of the well and Shadow Temple in Ocarina of Time. And we all know what the symbol is for. To indicate that there's actually invisible stuff around us. And the Lens of Truth will reveal this is a fake wall. And yeah, it's pretty obvious we're going to have to deal with invisible things here as well. If you listen closely, you will hear some enemies. But you will not be able to see them. And that is because the enemies are invisible here. Keys and big sculptulas will be hanging around here. But with our unseen eye, these guys are no problem. Okay, there's one more, but I can't see it from here. Where are you? Oh, there you are. Goodbye. Okay, let's go see what we have over here. Nothing more invisible. No. Won't be needing that anymore. But we do have a cracked wall, so let's crack open our bombs. And another door is hiding behind there. And on our map you can actually see it leads to a room with a chest, so we are definitely interested. Ooh, another thing that returns from Ocarina of Time. The Iron Knuckle. One of the most formidable enemies in that game. And we also need to face them here. They work precisely the same. There's some minor differences in their mechanics, but all in all they're pretty much the same. Once you knock off their outer armor, they actually become a little bit faster, but not per se harder. There we go. And we stand on top of the chest. Always interesting when that happens. But anyway, we can't open it from up there, so let's open it like this. And let's go see what the reward is for Beneath the Graveyard, Day 2. A piece of heart. 3 pieces so far, so 1 more for another heart container. And it counts as Buried Treasure, event number 2. We explored the graveyard on the 2nd day. And that is all. So, let's return. There's nothing else hidden in here. Okay, the contents of these spots. Oh, come on. I should have known. Of course there's invisible enemies here again. You only have to leave the room once and immediately everything respawns again. I don't care about you guys, I'm not going to bother killing you again. I have double health anyway, so not too afraid about dying. Okay, obviously we're going to return here during the final night. There's something more to do then. But until then, let's go finish off the Reunite the Frog Choir event. Since we're waiting for night of the final day, it's a perfect time to go back to Snowhead and finish the dungeon for a second time. Unfortunately we have to, there's no other way to actually spawn that frog choir during winter. Goat has to be defeated again. For the second time, we need the mountains to be curse-free. But luckily, as we know from the Woodfall Temple just now, it is actually pretty easy getting back to the boss the moment you've defeated it once already. So we only need to make sure we get into the dungeon. Interesting, cycle 7 so far. We have opened 3 dungeons now. We've completed the Great Bay Temple, and therefore it's also open. We just opened the Woodfall Temple to get the Gekko, and now the Snowhead Temple is also open. But anyway, I'll see you when I get into the dungeon. Oh, oops.